Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it. People see the trophies, but not the training ground.
Everybody wants the view, but no one wants the climb.
When you're in the pursuit of something, it seems like that's when all the obstacles come your way. But I could say this, wherever there's opposition, that's where your greatest opportunity lies. It's easier said than done, but you gotta know what you deserve, and you gotta know what you want, and you gotta put forth effort every day into that direction.
Never consider yourself dumb, all right? When you don't succeed at something, you can't figure out, you're not dumb. You're not interested, you're uninterested. You're not interested in what you're doing. Something doesn't capture your attention. So people automatically, teachers and other educators say, oh, this individual is dumb because they can't figure this out. Well, think about all the things that you are interested in and how quickly you learn those things. Yeah. All right, a dumb person, no matter what you put out of them, even if they're interested, they can't figure that out. So never let anyone, including yourself, so this is the last time I want you to ever think of yourself as dumb. They just couldn't find what you were interested in. If they were able to find what you were interested in, you would have never used that terminology again. That's the difference. You found what you were interested in, and look where it's brought.
A friend of mine said, are you sad? And when I really thought about it, I started to look at life like it was a video game. I'm like, yo, every part of it is really lit. Right. The things that hurt you, the things that you're happy about, the things that push your ego, that support your ego, the things that down your ego. Like, I've been saying this like for a couple weeks, like ego and anger love to hang out, they best friends.
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
So I think a lot of us have the battle of the other self, that we're the lesser version of ourself that we're trying to kill every single day. And so a lot of times we have this desire to point the blame finger externally, but wherever you point the finger of blame, power follows. And so whoever I blame for the life I have is the person who I give all the power over my existence, over my circumstances. And so it hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me.
I don't care if you're black, you're white, you're gay, or straight, rich, or poor. It doesn't matter. Everybody's headed the same direction. We're all going to die. And that's not morbid. I don't look at it as morbid. If you knew that you weren't going to make it home for dinner tonight, if you knew you weren't going to make it home to dinner tonight, what would you now do? Who would you call? Who would you text? Where would you go? Go do that. Because here's the crazy thing, bro. Like, there are people that aren't going to make it home to dinner tonight. And that's not, oh, you know what? We'll do that next year. We'll take that trip later. And I'm not talking about being reckless. I'm not talking about dudes cashing everything out and being fiscally irresponsible. What I'm talking about is really understanding that this game is way different than we've been programmed to believe it is. Like, we literally have been programmed to work until we're 65, and then we can relax, and then we can enjoy. You're dead. You're dead then. Your body doesn't work anymore. You're not going to want to go race bot. You're not going to want to learn anything new. Your kids are old. They don't give a about you. They're married and moved off and the whole thing. Like, now what?
Yeah, people don't know how to manage their emotions. I think the more, at least for me, the more I've tried to create space between how I feel and what I do, the more consistent my outcomes have been. The more times I give into that excuse or that feeling, then the more superstitious I become about doing it in the future. Whereas a lot of times, if I can just start when I am tired or when something is painful and then still execute about the same as before, I remember feeling terrible during the session, but you can't really see anything. And I think the more times you get that loop going, the more you can separate how you feel and what is required. And the more times you do what is required to get what you want, the more times you get what you want. The work works on you more than you work on it. And so if you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you. And so, I mean, there's a biblical proverb, I think it says like, there is profit in all labor. And that means that even if the thing that you're working on right now doesn't amount to the outcome that you expected that it would, it doesn't mean that you don't become better through doing it.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
Some people know how to live better than others with or without money. They just sort out and pick a better person to share their time with. You feel what I'm saying? Even if you sleep in a one-bedroom apartment, you may be richer than a rich guy. You see what I'm saying? Your life, the fabrics of your life and what you're doing and how you feel about yourself at the moment. If the person if that's sufficient for them, like then at the top of it, then do you need that?
I mean, you'll know this, it's lonely at the top, you know, but it's not if you bring the right people with you, the people that came up with you, the people that, you know, love you for you, you know, the people that know you from before you had money, before you were famous, you know, so I like to have them around to keep me grounded and just make sure I'm solid. Well, you can't enjoy the sunshine without a little rain, and everything is temporary. Everything's forever changing. So even right now, I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. I love where I'm at. I love who I'm around. I love who I'm with. You know, I know it's not lasting, because guess what? Something's gonna happen that's gonna shake that up.
You're gonna have hard times. You're gonna have great times. You're gonna have times where you're proud of yourself. You're gonna have times where you're not proud of yourself. You're gonna have times where you're winning. You're gonna have times when you're losing. Such is the journey called life. If you think that being happy is a 24/7 destination that you're gonna get to and you're gonna have all this joy and all this happiness and all these feelings that are good and never any bad feelings, you're gonna always feel bad because your expectations are out of alignment with reality. You cannot achieve that. That is not achievable. So the minute you have anything outside of that, the minute you have a hard day, the minute you have frustration, the minute you have anxiety, it's going to be much more amplified because your expectation is that there shouldn't be any of it.
Should is just like the expectation motor of like all of our psyches. You should go to school. You should get a degree. You should do this job. You should marry her. You shouldn't stay up so late. You shouldn't work so hard. You should be more balanced. You shouldn't be working out so much. You're not working out. Like there's all these shoulds that other people tell us. And it's like, and you zoom out and then you see that it's a galaxy with a little dot of dust. It's like, should what? There is no should. Do what you want to do.
I said this to somebody the other day. They were talking about how they feel. And I say, who cares how you feel? And he goes, well, what do you mean? Well, I don't care. You're telling me I know you and I don't care. So all the people who don't know you don't care. The woman you want doesn't care. The job you're supposed to perform at doesn't care. If the man who wants to mug you decides to pull out a machete, he doesn't care. You can't say, bro, I'm not in the mood for a fight today. Tomorrow, please. Nobody cares. So why do you care? All the people out here in the world don't care, but you're gonna sit there and you're gonna carry me the only person in the world who cares? Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna walk around feeling sorry for yourself, trying to find somebody who cares. You might find somebody who pretends to care long enough for you to get a little bit of dopamine, but all in all, you're wasting time in a hyper-competitive world where people like me who perform regardless of how they feel are just gonna perpetually bury you. And then you're gonna sit there and wake up and go, why am I a loser? Well, because when Andrew was sad, he continued to perform. When Andrew was in jail, his business didn't fall apart. He was doing push-ups every day. His body didn't fall apart. Nothing about his life degraded when he was in a jail cell surrounded by cockroaches.
Life is fucking hard, and let me tell you how it's hard. It's either hard in the beginning or it's hard in the end. You either suffer when you're young and have a better back end, or you suffer or you fucking party when you're young and you suffer on the back end. When it comes to happiness, happiness should be viewed as daily moments that make me happy. I had this moment that made me happy. I had that moment that made me happy. I had this moment that made me happy. And we should be grateful for those moments. We shouldn't be mad that 24 hours a day wasn't this happy experience.
My mom used to say this to me, and I had to really think about this. And she used to tell me all the time, if we all threw our problems in a pile, I guarantee you would take your shit back and run.
Yeah.
So let that sit in for a little bit. Think about it.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do, or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful.
Why are you waiting for somebody else to believe in you and to have more control? You got to gamble on yourself. You got to know that, hey, listen, when I gamble on myself, I have the utmost confidence. I know what the outcome is going to be. Put your health in your own hands. Put winning in your own grasp. Don't wait for somebody else to hand it to you. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your abilities. Not only do you have to believe in them, you have to work in them. You have to excel in them. You have to understand them. If you're not willing to gamble on yourself, I'm not going to gamble on you.
An understanding that comes with the world of communication and great dialogue. I can, and having this conversation, I can point to so many examples of how it's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right.
The only advice I would have would be to not listen to anyone and to do what you love and to make things that you love, whatever it is. Make your favorite things. Be the audience. Make the thing for you the audience. And it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. And if you have to get a job to support yourself so that you can make your art, that's fine. You can't make art for someone else. You can't make art with someone else in mind. I don't believe it can be good.
To have someone believe in us, to have one person see a spark in us, helps us recognize that it helps us see the spark in ourselves. I think it takes only one person, whether it's a friend or a coach or a parent, a boss sometimes, who takes a liking to us. And almost all of us can remember one person in our lives where it's a coach or a teacher who took us under their wing and saw something that we didn't see. And every single successful person on the planet has that person. But I think most of us do. Most of us have somebody who saw something in us, and we are who we are in part because of that person.
Some people it's attractive and they go, I want to do that too. Like, you seem pretty fucking happy despite all the stress you're under. Like, how are you doing that? And I'll tell people that because I create my own bullshit, and my own bullshit's way harder than whatever I'm facing in the world. And that's how I mitigate the stress of success and pressure and criticism and all that stuff. Like, I do to myself way worse than they're ever going to do to me. So that's how I mitigate it. Also, I calm my body. I calm my mind through calming my body, and I calm my body through work. I make it work, and I make myself do things that are very uncomfortable, that I don't want to do. And by doing that, I develop this strength and perseverance. And some people hear that and like, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to take a fucking nap. You're exhausting me. They're like, I'm not you. I don't want to do that. And they just like, it takes them away from that. And I'm like, you don't even have to do that. Mm-hmm. Just go for a fucking walk every day. It sounds like it's easy to do, but when that walk comes and look at your clock, oh, it's 8 o'clock, time to go for that walk. You're like, I don't want to walk. I would just rather play video games. I don't want to walk. I'd rather like read emails. I don't want to walk. I'd rather like scroll through TikTok. But if you just force yourself to go for that fucking walk every day, you will develop mental perseverance. You will develop some tenacity. You'll develop the ability to force yourself into work. It doesn't have to be grueling. It just has to be a thing that you have to do.
Motivation isn't what we are relying on. And we can't rely on motivation because, like I said, if you and I got to get in the water to go conduct an operation, the motivation to do that will be zero, might even be -9, might be -12, might be -1,000. And you know what? Doesn't matter. You and I are going to go do what we have to do. You have to train yourself. You have to train the soldier in your mind to obey those direct orders when they come, and that is the foundation of discipline. I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm hesitant, I'm not sure if I want to do this, I'm second guessing, all those little things. They're just overridden by one thing and one thing only, discipline, and that's what it's going to take.
I laugh every time I hear people saying, yeah, I don't like working for other people, so You know, I want to work for myself because I want to set my own hours and I want to, yeah, right. Let me tell you what, when you work for yourself, there are no days, there's no Christmas, there's no fucking Easter, there's none of that shit when you work for yourself. In the early days.
It's a grind.
Exactly, you're working through all those holidays. Every day something bad happens, every day there's problems, every day somebody's trying to fuck you and take what you've built, and you know what I mean? It's a war every day when you get up in the early days.
Everything that you're worried about is going to be gone like that. The people that are criticizing you, they're going to be gone, you're going to be gone. All this hand-wringing worry and concern over how are people viewing me, and someone said something bad about me and you get so upset about it, is wasted time and energy. Your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
And it's so much easier to make the same choice every single day. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're stepping from the known into the unknown. So some people would rather cling to their self-pity than take a chance and possibility. They'd rather tell the story of their past instead of telling the story of their future. They'd rather believe in their past instead of believe in their future.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Another verse says, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be answered unto you. So once you pursue something, that thing that you're pursuing also attracts itself to you. It's the law of magnetism. Whatever you are, you attract. So, you know, when you're praying and you're grateful, that's the elevated thought that you're bringing into creation, into existence. The idea of creation, right? The idea of creating things is the materialization of these thoughts. You ask God to give you patience, right? But then he gives you a challenging situation for you to show patience, and you complain that, you know, like, it's a hard time in life. Well, you ask God to teach you something. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be challenging.
That's mental health, to be able to celebrate yourself and to be able to give yourself some credit. And I feel like that was a great statement for those going through mental health, because we always depend on confirmation, or we depend on someone to make us feel like we're worthy or we're validated, when in actuality, you should thank yourself for being validated, because you're the one that got to get up every day and do this and walk this walk, talk this talk, and do what you do to be you. So thank yourself, pat yourself on the back.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how hopefully there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
And I think like when your dream is so big, when you have something, it's hard to give up. You know, like you get to the point that you're capable of risking more for just a dream, which is something that a normal person would not understand. I still ask myself now, like, why didn't I give up at that time? Why did I keep doing this? Why did I take those risks? Because there was a moment that even now I think about it, I'm like, that was stupid. It was like a death sentence.
If every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety? In grammar school and high school? No question. On test day. No question. So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is, and we just are.
Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times.
Man, the beauty of being someone who has to go through struggle, the beauty, because you get that. If there's no struggle, that's the thing. If there's no struggle, then it's nothing. There's no journey. There's no journey. You know, you get to make that magic, man. You get to be the story.
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path.
I found out that your worst enemy is you and your ability to stay true to the thing that you want to do. If you lie to yourself and cheat yourself, well, then you're not fooling anybody but yourself. But if you actually get up every day and you got that action, and you got that energy that's like, I have to go and do this because I'm trying to get here. And you know every day you're working towards that, well, you're going to get there. It may take you longer, some may do it shorter, but you're not going to lose.
I think there's many, many meanings of life. I think there's a way to navigate life that's enjoyable. I think it requires many things. It requires, first of all, it requires love. You have to have loved ones, you have to have family, you have to have friends, you have to have people that care about you, and you have to care about them. I think that is primary. Then it also requires interests. There has to be things that stimulate you. Now, it could be just a subsistence lifestyle. There's many people that believe and practice this lifestyle of just living off the land and hunting and fishing and living in the woods, and they seem incredibly happy.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, I think you need something that is interesting to you, something that you're passionate about. And there's far too many people that get sucked into living a life where you're just doing a job. You're just showing up and putting in your time and then going home, but you don't have a passion for what you're doing. And I think that's the recipe for a boring and very unfulfilling life.
And here's the reality. The hardest thing in life is figuring out who you are and what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's a big decision. I'm very blessed and lucky. I always knew who I was and exactly what I wanted to do. And once you figure that out, you wake up every day and you work toward it. That's what you do. It's impossible for you to fail if you know who you are, what you want to do, and you wake up every day and work toward it.